selection of Nivea products, including their new in-shower body lotion designed to smooth your skin, and it needs no waiting time to absorb. It can be found in the body lotion aisle, and we're going to be drawing for this Nivea prize pack after the show, so enjoy. Dr. Karyn Gordon is here. We were talking about getting those kids ready for camp. So school's going to end, and then it's going to be off to camp. Some of you are going to be going to day camp. Some of the kids are going to go to overnight camp. Yes. A lot to consider there, especially what is the right camp for your kids.
It's a big decision because there's so many options. You know, when I went to camp as a kid, there's like the one camp. We do it all, right?
Right.
Now we got the whole spectrum. We've got art camp, science camp, learn to be a doctor camp, dance camp. You've got day camps. You've got overnight camps. This is a really big deal for our family because this year is the first year the boys are going to their first full week of overnight camp.
That's a big deal.
It's a big deal. I'm at Muskoka Woods, and I'm so excited. It's an amazing camp.
Is it?
Yeah, and it's a great camp. And what they're also doing, which is kind of a good idea, is that they do the overnight camp, but they also have day camp, city camps now for kids if they don't want to be going overnights. A little bit of a way for kids to actually test drive, which is actually really smart.
That's smart.
Because for a lot of kids, it's a big deal going away. And if you've never done camp, then it's a great way actually to start. And here in our audience, 27% of our audience either went to day camp or overnight camp. So about a quarter. Yeah. So it's a lot. Did you go to camp?
I did. I was a camp counselor forever, and I went to camp when I was young as well. Always like the cheapy Parks and Recreation camp.
Yes.
But it was always great. It was a great time. And it's why I know every song that's ever going to come out of my kids' mouths from school.
Yes.
They're like, how do you know it, Mommy?
That's right.
Like, I went to camp.
That's right. You learn all the cheesy songs by the campfire.
Yeah.
And you know, that's actually a really good point. In terms of for the camps, you're going to have a huge range. You're going to have like the pricey options, but you're going to have also the very inexpensive options. Toronto Parks and Rec in every city is going to have options that are very affordable. Actually, one of my summer jobs when I was 21 was working at one of these camps. It's completely free for you too, eh?
Yeah.
And
I was a camp counselor forever.
Yeah.
Like for many, many years. I did the leadership and training program.
Right. Yeah.
And then I was a counselor at the Parks and Recreation camps, and I loved it. Those were some of my best summers.
I know. So it really, camp to me is such a good thing for children.
Yeah.
Really good. So it's really important when you're actually going to be talking to your kids, talk to them about what are their interests, what would they like, would they want to go to with a friend, if they're going to be doing a camp, whether it's day camp or overnight. Is there kind of a niche camp that they want? And also, is there a camp as a child went that you kind of want to continue a family tradition?
Oh, interesting.
We have some friends that are actually doing that, which is kind of a nice fit. So it's a big decision for parents to make.
Now you have to think about what to pack for camp.
Yes.
It's a little bit different from school because you're probably going to be outside a lot.
Right. So depending on your camp, whether it's day camp or overnight camp, most camps are going to send you a list of things actually to pack with suntan lotion, hats, you know, possibly extra clothes, all of that. So I'll let the camps kind of dictate that. Let me kind of tell you a few things that people don't think about. If for overnight camp in particular, teddy bears, this is actually kind of funny. So teddy bears may or may not be a good idea depending on the age of your child.
Okay.
So my brother went to camp at 11. Yeah. My parents really raised us to be quite independent. So we actually packed our own stuff. So my dad actually was redoing my brother's sleeping bag, and out rolls George. Well, George, he's 11. Okay, so George is his teddy bear. Yeah. And my dad, knowing that was probably not going to be appropriate because nobody else, he said to my brother, Stephen, I'm going to give you a quarter for every other child that has a teddy bear in your cabin. Yeah. And we'll make it like a little bit of a deal. And because my brother was pretty savvy, he's like, okay. So he gave George to my dad. And of course, how much money do you think he made? None. None. Because at that age, you don't. So teddy bears are at that age are probably going to be a little bit out. However, you could be creative. You can have a blanket. Some people, or a favorite blanket, favorite pillow, something that's a little bit, you know, very nurturing because kids. Is the no teddy bear thing more a matter of my kid's going to be ostracized and made fun of? A little bit, yes, a little bit. Because if they have that attachment, I mean, I wouldn't really care. Yes, so you can have your teddy bear, but you will be made fun of. And you know what? And you know what? Exactly. And you know what? Just be a strong person because you're going to get it. Yeah. And you know what? I totally agree with you, Tracy. Yeah. And I think you just have to kind of manage that expectation. Okay. You just got to manage. Some camps will actually say avoid photos, family photos, because if you've got a child who's actually a little bit homesick. Right. Seeing a photo might be a little bit difficult, but it does depend on your child. Yeah. Because when I went to camp, I liked that. And the other thing that my mom did is every day, this is one of my favorite things, every day she actually had written me a card. And so every day I opened up a card. Monday for my mom, Tuesday for my mom. That's nice. And it was really nice. Yeah, that's sweet. But it does depend on your child. Yeah, okay, so you really have to kind of like like figure that out a little bit with your kids.
Okay, that's cute. Those are cute ideas. I like the idea of a note. So let's talk a little bit about anxiety. It could be anxiety with your child because they're going to be going away and sleeping away for the first time for a long period of time, or anxiety for the parents.
Yes, and it's going to be probably 50-50 in terms of which is actually more anxiety. So for parents, it's really important to realize that kids are going to pick up on your emotions.
Totally.
They are going to see it and they're going to mirror it right back. So as parents, we have to be very focused. What exactly is it that I want for my child? If I want my child to become independent, which most parents would say that they do, then it's very important that we put our children in situations where they actually exercise their independence. Okay, so and the more we face things that we're scared of, the more the fear shrinks.
Yes.
So we have to kind of really keep our eye focused on that as the goal. Remember, we've talked about this before in the show. Anxiety is not a bad thing. People think that anxiety is bad. Anxiety is not a bad thing. It's just a feeling, one of our 3,000 feelings. It's a lot of times the thinking that's actually toxic. And a lot of times with anxiety, what it is, well, what if this happens? What if this happens? What if this happens? What if I don't make a friend? What if I don't like all the activities? And so when you're actually having those conversations with your kids, the best way to actually reduce anxiety is actually to focus on a plan.
Okay.
Focus on a plan and say, okay, so if that happens, then what are you going to do? And instead, this is really important for parents, don't problem solve for your children. Okay, so if your kids say, well, what if I don't make a friend? A lot of times what parents do is like, well, you should do this, you should do this, you should do this. And we kind of prop up our kids saying, that's a great question. So what would you recommend your friend to do? Get them to problem solve.
Okay, I like that idea.
And it's a really good way for them to start exercising their own problem solving skills.
Are your boys anxious at all about going away?
No.
Is it because they have each other?
Yeah, but you know what? They're pretty independent. Like I have to say, we haven't really faced that, but I would absolutely agree. They do have each other, so that is a different dynamic. So that's why if people are going away to camp, it's a great way to actually go with a friend. It's a great first step.
Really good tips. I love that. All right, we're going to go to break now. We've got more coming up on the show. Thank you, Karyn.